Good morning everyone, welcome to an swxc.net update on the 2nd of February 2012. Well, we have light to moderate falls as we suggested that we would on the coast overnight, and this morning we have some very isolated heavy falls of rain in the inland regions of Queensland, and we see a little pocket here near Tully or Innisfail of some heavier rain on a onshore stream. Alright, well, we've got a fair bit to talk about, but firstly we'll get into the western border regions and have a look at where this big rainfall figure is. At Undaroo at 113 millimeters. When a rainfall figure is this high, it suggests that the rain was very isolated from a particular thunderstorm. So you can see here 113 mils there. And just down the road at Winton, 19 millimeters. So you can see it's all come from storm activity. However, general rainfall inland has been between 15 and 50 millimeters, so it has been reasonably widespread in terms of 15 to 50s, and that's not too bad. That's not as bad as some of the models were predicting, so that's not a bad outcome for this particular weather system. If we look back into the North Tropical Coast, Bilyana 60 millimeters, Murray Flats 75, Euramo 58. So all in the Tully region. There is one at the back of Innisfail there, Narada 51. Not the sort of heavy rain we saw yesterday. Townsville, very much a lot less than that. So anywhere from 0 to 15 millimeters in the suburbs. So it has certainly settled down. If we go a little bit further south though, there has been some really decent rainfall up in the Mackay area. So we've had Bakers Creek 63, Mackay itself anywhere from 20 to 50 in all the suburbs. So it has been a reasonably active time down there, and they tend to do pretty well in this sort of setup where a tropical low is developing. It pushes in an easterly stream onto the coast. You can see even Bowen Pump Station here, 33 mils. Alright, we're going to delve quickly into some satellite pictures, and then we're going to go into what the future holds for the next 24 to 36 hours. Courtesy of Brisbane Storm Chasers, we see the latest infrared imagery. We can see a clear marked trough line where my cursor is, where there's very little cloud in behind that, where we have dry air, more stable air. And east of that we've got warm moist air. Just off the coast here of between Townsville and Mackay, we have a big thunderstorm blob, and all that's moving in that direction, getting onto the coast, and will eventually become a feeder band to a developing low pressure system just on the Western Cape, which will move to the east and cross the coast between Cairns and Cooktown sometime early tomorrow. We're going to look specifically at the setup here. At 10 PM the model had initialized. This is the global forecasting system model, and it is given to us courtesy of Brisbane Storm Chasers, where you can see their website there, forecasts.bsch.com.au. They create an amazing amount of a plethora of charts for GFS, and so they're very good, very handy to have a look at exactly what's going on and exactly what the model's forecasting. But if we track back up to the north and focus in on this area, this is the low at 10 PM last night. At the time of this update, that low hasn't moved anywhere, and we see it still stuck over the western or even getting into the central Cape. At 4 PM today we really see, look at this feed in from the north, it's really intensified, and consequently the low is pushed eastwards reasonably quickly between 4 AM and 4 PM today. (4 AM) on Friday, we have the low just offshore of Cairns. It's got an amazing feed. Look at this, we're talking 55 to 60 knots at 800, at a kilometre and a half above the surface, and we're talking a nice feed in of moisture here between Townsville and Mackay of 20 to 25 knots. So it's this area here, Townsville and Mackay, that we would expect the bulk of the rainfall to be occurring at this point in time as these winds squeeze in and create a feeder band into this low. So this model's very aggressive with the monsoon flow, but most models are suggesting 40 to 50 knots in the monsoon, and we've got we're almost starting to get into tropical cyclone territory here by 4 p.m. Friday, with 30 knots to its south, 60 knots to its north. They're just not quite tight enough to be called a tropical cyclone. But you can see now the flow is becoming less onshore. Any rain that is falling is now falling further south around the Mackay area, because the flow towards Townsville is now southerly or south-southeasterly, and the flow towards Cairns as well and truly southwesterly. However, because we've got so much forcing of the air at that sort of speed, there could just still be showers and storms popping up throughout the area, even with the system well east. And by Saturday morning, the system is off the chart. Oh, there you can just see it just on the edge of your chart. If we keep tracking eastwards with it, that's our system there. You can still see very strong southwesterlies over Cairns. But once again, over this area here, we've got very lighter southeasterlies or south-southeasterlies. And then anywhere sort of Rocky or Bundy north, we do have those a more onshore stream. And so the exposed coastal areas could be receiving a fair bit of rain. At this stage, we're talking tropical cyclone. Before we take a look at the high-resolution European model and have a look at where the rainfall will occur and what the winds are going to do on the surface, let's have a look here at the OCF forecasting. We're looking at 17 mils today for Townsville, 30 on Friday, and then petering out Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then we get another trough system comes through on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to give us some rain. When you're on the outside of a developing tropical cyclone, so just on the outside of its circulation, what you do is you get subsiding air, so the air actually goes down towards the surface, and it's very difficult to get uplift, and it's very difficult to get tall clouds forming. And so what we see there is that break in the weather on the Sunday and the Monday, where we're not expecting much at all as the cyclone or the low moves eastwards away from us. If we look up, those falls are pretty general. Almost everywhere. Ingham, you're looking at 16 mils, 39 mils, 12, and then you're looking at that clearance again Sunday, Monday, and then we've got some more rain coming with the next trough system. Cardwell, very similar. Heading south of the Townsville region, we're looking at air, looking at 17, 21, then a break, and then coming back towards midweek next week. Once again, Hamilton Island, if we continue down, their main time is today, and then they sort of start to peter out from tomorrow. Mackay looks like it's going to miss out on the bulk of the rain despite that onshore stream. And Proserpine looking at good rain today, good rain tomorrow, and then petering out, coming back midweek. St. Lawrence, not expecting too much down all that way. It is a little too far to the south of the circulation to benefit from any rainfall. Woolshed, just out the back of Townsville, 15, 35, and then peters out, and then comes back midweek next week. And Yeppoon, too far south. Looking further north into the Cairns area, we would have expected to see a lot of rain up this way, but most of the modelling is not suggesting that. They're suggesting, light to moderate falls with 15 mils, 17 mils, and then petering right out, and then coming back mid next week. That's for Cairns. For Cooktown, which is where the low will cross near, 21 today, 7 tomorrow, and then just completely petering out and coming back next week. And that's pretty well the case everywhere, all through this region, which is quite strange. We would have expected a tropical low that pushes right in through this area with a very strong northwest monsoon flow to be expecting a lot more rain than that. However, at this stage, in the short term. Alright, time to look at rainfalls. Thursday, 4 till 7 in the morning, we see enhanced area of rain here to the west of the Hinchinbrook Islands, around the Prossie area, or Prossie to Barwon. We see some shower activity on the North Tropical Coast. We see extreme thunderstorm activity here in the Western Peninsula, Gulf of Carpentaria, and we still see residual rain activity here with some heavier storms inland of central Queensland. 7 till 10 a.m. we just see this band of rain along that trough line I showed you on the colorized satellite loop, and we see good shower and storm activity still in here through the Western Cape, and just basically general showery conditions and possibly light rain. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. we see this area of enhanced rainfall just starting to push into the peninsula now. We see this trough system still here. But by 4 p.m. we can definitely see a shift to the east in the activity. So you can see this trough system is starting to shift east. With it, it's carrying the low pressure system, which is starting to shift east. We've got some extreme thunderstorm activity in here, and rain activity quite heavy at times through the central parts of the peninsula. We've also got some good shower and storm activity developing around Charters Towers by 4 p.m. today, as well as further to the southwest towards Hewenden and Pentland and that region, and all the way down towards Ballyando, and then coming into towards Claremont, Emerald even possibly, and also further west. By 7 p.m. extreme thunderstorm activity in here over inland central Queensland. We're talking some very heavy falls in this thunderstorm activity, very heavy falls in this stuff over the Cape, and enhanced rainfall between sort of just south of Towns, also Garoo, all the way through to Bowen. Thursday 7 p.m. Thursday 10, that stuff pushes offshore. Extreme thunderstorm activity pushes east slightly in the central Queensland region, and we still have shower and storm activity coming in through a line here, bit of a break in the line to the west of Townsville, and some really heavy shower and storm activity again over the central peninsula. As that low starts to push eastwards Friday 1 a.m, we get light showers on the coast, and we get some very heavy storm activity in the vicinity of that low, just to the north of that low, where that northwesterly convergence is greatest. We still have this extremely heavy thunderstorm activity over central inland Queensland, and for anyone that knows Townsville, we've got a bit of a break anywhere from Townsville to Cairns. Okay, Friday 4 a.m. though, we see this rain setting in now as the low starts to push onshore near Cairns. We start to see this nice east-northeasterly feed smashing into the Townsville area, so we should see scattered showers, some fairly heavy ones at that, and also some showers inland here, and that storm activity just now starting to peter out, but it's still extremely heavy. Look at this stuff happening over the Cape. That's at least 1.5 inch per 3 hours, possibly closer to 2 inches over the 3 hours. Extremely heavy rainfall. 7 a.m. still looking at extremely heavy rainfall here. Heavy rainfall developing in through the inland parts of the Herbert Burdekin, and also along this trough line. You can see the trough line started way back here. It's now over here, so it's pushing east. It's pushing this low east. Once this low starts to get a shove to the east, it'll just keep moving faster and faster. Friday 10 a.m. we've got nice shower activity in the Townsville region. We've got good shower activity inland over the central Queensland or central Highlands coalfields, and we've got this stuff developing out here now with the low. The low's now offshore, and we've got especially heavy rain on the northern side of that low. By 1 p.m. we've got this area just to the north of Cairns, looking at extremely heavy rainfall, but even Cairns itself could be in with a good chance there. And all the way through, actually, to all the way to Townsville and past Townsville to the south, we're looking at potential for heavy rainfall. So that's where we're going to leave it, Friday 1 p.m. I'll have another update with this rainfall chart tonight to see how it's going and what we're expecting as this low starts to push eastwards and gets closer to us. So there will be an update tonight for the Herbert Burdekin. It will be released sometime between 6 and 7 p.m. So hopefully you can join us there. Thanks for watching.